Hey guys, it's Boggs, and I'm coming at you again with another video. This time I'm going to be outlining the playoffs of IEM Katowice, showcasing the teams that made it, how they got there, some of the upset stories, and of course, maybe a little bit about the teams that went home a little too early and will not be joining us in the Spodek arena. Let's go over the teams that are making it to the playoffs, that have made it to the playoffs rather. Let's get right into those teams. Fnatic, 100 Thieves, Na'Vi, Liquid, G2, and of course, the GOAT of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Astralis. All these teams making it into the playoffs here. I mean, no surprise really with Astralis. I don't think you can really be too surprised with Na'Vi or Fnatic or Liquid either, just going off rankings. G200 Thieves are the teams that more or less you are a little surprised to see. But let's get into the initial Group A here. No real shocking teams making it through, aside from FaZe losing to, FaZe only really lost to Na'Vi, so it wasn't that bad for FaZe, but still disappointing for FaZe. I think they would have hoped to make it to the playoffs, but instead they will be home with no chance to end up in the Spodek arena. Vitality though with a pretty rough exit, losing to Astralis and then to FaZe, beating NiP 2-0 in their only victory. But to go to the teams that actually qualify for the playoffs, Na'Vi, let's start with them. The 2-1 FaZe, not only in their opening map, but also in the lower bracket final to qualify for the quarterfinals. So 2-1 scorelines in both those games. Simple had a very poor performance on Nuke in the lower bracket final, posting a .57 HLTV rating, but he still was able to be there for his team in the second and third maps of the game. If you look there, he still brought his rating up to a 1.12, so overall not a bad rating at all. Nuke also the only map that FaZe was able to pull over Na'Vi. But Electronic and Boomich really showing up here for them. Flaming Perfecto not exactly performing the best, but this performance here from Olaf Meister doesn't look too good. Things not looking too great for FaZe, considering that they did go out in the group stage, not making the two playoffs, but considering the fact that Na'Vi won without a simple hard carry, you gotta hold their heads up high and realize that Na'Vi won by being a team rather than being a one-man wrecking crew. Something though that cannot be said about Vitality, relying on ZywOo heavily, especially with the massive underperformance of Shocks. Not going to use this as a time to bag on Shocks though. Instead, let's talk about Fnatic. 2-0 over Renegades and then a 2-1 win over Nautis Vincere. So Fnatic qualifying for the playoffs with that victory over Na'Vi and continuing a run of form which has brought them, I believe, into that top 5. Yeah, they're number 4 in the world. So Fnatic really starting to show up and borrow their teeth at the best once again, and show that they are here once more to be in the top echelon of Counter-Strike. The re-edition of Golden doing fantastic for them as far as their team chemistry is concerned, and Brokey definitely not Brokey, but Brolin having himself some great performances for Fnatic. Of course, Crims being a legend and doing his job, Flusha as well. But Fnatic, their only loss coming at the hands of Astralis 2-0, but you can't really expect to beat Astralis. I mean, Astralis doesn't lose to anybody. If you beat Astralis, you gotta count your lucky stars because it doesn't happen often. Of course, Astralis made it through. They didn't drop a single map, beating Cloud9, Vitality, and of course Fnatic by that 2-0 scoreline to go straight through to the semifinals. But if we look here at like Renegades, they couldn't pick up a win. They couldn't pick up a map. Same with Cloud9. And then NiP, they all got a win over Cloud9 2-0. But still failed to go over Na'Vi or, of course, Vitality in their opening matchup. But still, we have some very solid teams making it out of Group A. Astralis, Fnatic, and Na'Vi, all teams within that top 10. I believe Na'Vi's ranked number 6. So, all teams in the top 6. Na'Vi very easily might break into the top 5 after this event. If we go down to Group B, though, we're going to see a very interesting turn of events here with a team that you might notice has topped the upper bracket. But let's put them off for later. Let's talk about 100 Thieves first, because this will tie in to the biggest upset story of the whole tournament so far. 100 Thieves' opening matchup was against G2. They lost 2-0. I don't know if anyone's terribly surprised. 100 Thieves didn't look too promising in that opening engagement. However, G2 do have a lot of firepower and on paper very well could pick up a win. But still by 2-0, I think 100 Thieves were a little disappointed with that. Dropping down into the lower brackets though from the beginning, they faced off against Tyloo, took out Tyloo 2-0. That had to be a confidence boost for the Aussie squad. Moving forward though, they played against Evil Geniuses who had just suffered defeat at the hands of Liquid, 2-1, after talking a little smack on Twitter. You know, you always love it when a team tries to talk a little smack and then gets smacked right down afterwards. It's a little karma, and a personal reason why I never talked smack when I played hockey, or don't usually talk smack when I play a game either. Just, I feel like karma comes back and it bites you pretty hard. And that's right here a little indication of that. But 100 Thieves took out EG as well. And then they moved on to play a team which I think many of us were expecting to win the whole entire event. Get that 250k in the bank? That would be Mouse Sports. So, Mouse Sports versus 100 Thieves. Winner goes to the Spodek, loser goes home. 100 Thieves were able to pull it off, making the reverse sweep as well, dust to a nuke going their way. Taking nuke off of Kerrigan as well, I think, is a very impressive performance. And the only map that 100 Thieves lost to Mousesports was Inferno. But Mousesports, a team that many thought could win the entire event of IEM Katowice, a team I thought was going to go far and potentially win it on their own. So to see 100 Thieves walk in and take them down is a great upset story and puts them up well going against another solid team in Fnatic moving into that quarterfinal. The other teams that made it out of this opening or Group B bracket, Liquid and of course G2. Liquid taking out Virtus Pro and EG to qualify for the playoffs and then losing 2-0 to G2 to go down to the quarterfinals instead of going straight to the semis. This ties in though to G2's run. Of course, we already went over their win over 100 Thieves. But then their next opponent was the aforementioned Mousesports, who G2 were able to take out, beating them on Inferno and Nuke very handedly and putting up 13 rounds on the map they lost. But if you look at Kenny S's rating right here, it's 1.46. That's a massive performance from somebody who has been criticized over the past few months for not performing as well as he has been known to play. I mean, I haven't been that on par with Kenny S's performances lately. But to see him come up with a number like that, an absolutely dominating performance over Mousesports, and I believe he also had a great one against Liquid, of course overshadowed by Nexa having himself a great game, which is another thing, the IGL top fragging against a team like Liquid. Great showing overall from G2, and great signs of life coming out from a team that really had looked very flat and very stale. But it looks like they've been revitalized, and the big part of that is the return of Kenny S's prominence. Of course, G2 after that win against Mousesports, 2-0 Liquid, making that semi-final finish. Mad Lions only picked up a win against Virtus Pro, losing to both EG and Mouse. Tyloo, of course, going out bottom of the barrel as has become their custom. I don't think they've actually made it out of that bottom slot in any of the recent events they've played. And then Virtus Pro as well, joining them in that bottom of the barrel. So as we can see here, Virtus Pro, Tyloo, Renegades, Cloud9 all in that bottom spot. EG, Vitality, Mad Lions, and NIP, 9 through 12. I mean, that's where things get really rough too. You got EG, you got Vitality, you got NIP, all in this 9 to 12 spot. I think that just goes to show how stacked this tournament was. I believe every single top 10 team was included in this tournament. Then in 7th, 8th, it's Mouse and FaZe. But if we move on to really go over the playoffs here, predictions for the playoffs, and what I think is going to occur here. Fnatic 100 Thieves, I think, goes the way of Fnatic. 2-1, I think 100 Thieves will salvage a win here. And I think that while 100 Thieves will get a win, it should still be a Fnatic victory. There is a chance that 100 Thieves pick up the victory 2-1, but overall I think Fnatic are still a very solid team and should be able to topple the Aussies despite their high-flying form taking out Mousesports. Of course, that does give a bit of a shake-up, but there is some time for Fnatic to prep, and I would expect them to come in ready for a 100 Thieves team that took out Mouse and EG on the way to playoffs. Going down to the other quarterfinal though for Na'Vi versus Liquid, I'm going to have to lean the way of Na'Vi here. Liquid hasn't exactly been impressing me of late, and Na'Vi have had to battle here, but their team performance to beat FaZe I think will be a huge portion for them moving forward, something that they've been struggling to get going, and if they can keep that rolling forward, a team performance from Na'Vi would be magnificent for them and potentially propel them to a very top spot, and they have potential to be top 1 with Simple and Electronic alone. So I think that if Na'Vi can continue their team play performance, they can very well win this event, but it all starts with a win over Liquid. I think they'll do that 2-1. But another interesting anecdote is that Simple usually goes off after he has a bad performance, and I'm expecting him to pop off against Liquid to make up for that poor rating against FaZe on Nuke. For that G2 Fnatic semifinal, I gotta give the edge to G2 here. While Fnatic might be good, G2 individually are playing on another level, team play wise on another level, and I think G2 probably will be able to take that series either 2-1 or 2-0. And G2, moving on to the finals, I would not be surprised to see them win that in the end, but we can touch on that after talking about the obvious that Astralis will beat Na'Vi and make it to the final because it's Astralis and they don't lose to anybody. Yeah, I'm not going to brush over it that fast. Of course, Na'Vi can pull off the victory against Astralis. They've done it before. I don't suspect they'll do it right now, as Astralis is finally finding their footing once again, having strong individual performances as well as the team play, which is so critical to their style of game. So I'm expecting Astralis 2-2-0 or 2-1 Na'Vi. I'm leaning more towards a 2-1 for most of these playoffs because they are great matchups, and I don't suspect these teams will go out without a fight. But it still should be Astralis and G2 moving on, the two teams that qualified for the semis. And then in the finals, I'm going to give the edge to G2 here. Going out on a limb, I'm going to be risky here and say G2 win it. The reason I say this is because Kenny is back in action. He's back in black, and he's going to hit all those op shots that we know he's capable of, and then more. The magic of Kenny has returned to Counter-Strike. It is gracing us, and we are going to have a blast being able to watch it. Of course, Nexa as well stepping up. Hunter, Jack's going to have an amazing performance, so everyone on G2 has that potential to be a factor in a game. Now with Kenny S popping off, anything is possible, and I'm going to say G2 can take it over Astralis in the grand final. So that's going to be my prediction there. Of course, I'd love to hear what you guys think down below in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching, and peace out.